Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that's quite close to my heart, been something that's controlled me a lot in the past, and I've never really known that it was there up until probably last week or the week before. And that is my shame around my eating habits, shame around my clothing and my body weight, and altogether sort of my body image and how I am as an obese person. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today, and I feel like it's a really important topic because I'm sure that there'll be more people going through this as well as me. So although it's very therapeutic for me to talk to a camera and just open all doors and let everything out all at once and sort of not hide anything, I'm hoping that maybe other people might be going through this as well, and it might help some people understand who they are as a person. Who knows? But we're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to share a bit of a personal story and my shame that I do to myself, and it's all around the sort of the negative self-talk that we talked about last week. But I've realised I do this quite a lot, and it sort of adds on to this perpetual cycle of negative self-talk, overeating, and then feeling bad about myself. So we're going to talk about the shame behind that. So to give you an example, I have a lot of smart clothes, shall we say. Clothes that stay in a wardrobe, never get used, and they what you would expect if you go out for like a nice fancy meal. You'd wear maybe a nice smart shirt, some nice trousers, and things that are very smart. Now I don't wear a lot of clothes like that, and it's on very rare occasion that I do. I prefer comfortable, baggy clothes that hide my body shape and something that doesn't restrict my body to when I'm walking about you can see everything, like you can see like my belly jiggling and stuff like that. I refuse to go out in clothing like that. So I wear a lot of tracksuit bottoms, like tops, baggy tops, like my jacket and my jumpers that I wore in my other videos, and things like that that hide my body shape. And there's very rare occasions that I go out and have a smart, nice, fancy meal. And something that I tend to do is actually try and avoid going out to these fancy meals so I can avoid actually wearing these clothes. Because I wear baggy clothes, over the years, there's been times where I've actually never realised that I've overeaten quite a lot and gained quite a fair bit of weight, because obviously it's not restrictive and they're not tight clothing, so I don't actually realise. And then if we ever go out for a fancy meal or something like that, and I put my tops on and they don't fit, or they're very, very tight. And in the past, I've done this where I felt really, really bad about, oh, they don't fit. I feel absolutely horrible. And then it ruins my entire mood for the whole night. Now, bear in mind, I've been thinking about this for the last 3 or 4 days before the actual event about, I'm not going to fit in these clothes. I'm not going to try it on now because I feel shame then. I'm going to try it on the night, see if I can lose a bit of weight before, and they'll fit in them. Bear in mind, it's only like a week and you're not going to lose hardly any weight in a week to fit in tops and smart shirts that have fit you years before in the past. But I do this, and I do this quite a lot. And it gets to a point where I actually try and avoid going out onto fancy meals and stuff because the clothes don't fit me. So if we ever go on date night and stuff, we'd go to a place where I can wear my comfortable clothes without it looking out of place. There are times where honestly I would have loved to go out for a nice meal, but I can't because my clothes don't fit. And then I go into this whole cycle of, well, I don't want to go buy new clothes because eventually I'll fit into these clothes, so I'll be wasting more money buying new clothes that fit me now, whereas maybe in a month's time I can fit into the clothes that I have in my wardrobe. Never happens. And of course, I shame myself in the process of, you should have lost weight before to be able to fit in these clothes. Now the whole night's going to be ruined and you're going to be thinking other people are staring at you, or you look so fat, you look horrible, all of these things. And I just go into this horrible cycle of like depression and like, oh, everything is just horrible. And then I deal with the shoulds of, you should have been doing this before and now you've just ruined the whole night. So the shame that I sort of induce on myself is quite heavy. If I go and have biscuits, for example, the shame only comes after. So if I'm feeling really bored or really stressed, I'd go eat something and I'd feel really good. And then immediately after, the self-talk will come in and say, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have eaten that. You're supposed to be losing weight. Why did you do that? And then I'm shaming myself. And I do it quite a lot. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that actually does this. So talking about shame is probably a really good step forward into identifying who I am as a person and finding a way to move forward in a way that's helpful. And some of it is all about the positive self-talk instead of the negative self-talk. And other parts of it is acceptance of who I am as a person. And it's, like someone said in the comments the other day, it is a marathon, not a sprint. But shame is very heavy within my entire life. The shame where if I've gone to a play area with my son and got out of breath, I'm sitting down and feeling depressed and shameful, because you should be losing weight, you should be feeling better, you shouldn't be in a position where you have to have a break in a play area and be out of breath with your son. Or even walking upstairs sometimes, if I'm like running up the stairs really fast, I'm out of breath. And even to this point where this morning, when I sat down to make this video, I sat in front of the camera after rushing upstairs, and I had to take about a minute or two before actually pressing record because I'd have been out of breath. In my mind, I was kicking myself saying, you shouldn't be like this. Why are you like this? And that's a really important question of why. The why is quite a powerful word. But it does really bother me, of course, because I don't want to be this way. And my negative self-talk and my shame behind everything is always there. And maybe during these videos, it might make things a little bit better, talking about it and sharing that to the world, whoever might want to watch. But there is a lot of shame in my life, and I do kick myself a lot for the things that I do. So I've waffled for quite a bit, but I think it's definitely important to talk about stuff like this. And I'm thankful I've got a platform to be able to talk about just me. I know a lot of people might not watch it, but it's nice that I can just open up and sort of talk to myself more than anything. Because hearing it out loud is sometimes a nice motivator to say, right, it's time to kick my butt into gear. But I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to say thank you for watching the video. If it's helped, let me know. If you're going through this as well, jump in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.